Sometimes God speaks and no one notices. Not with thunder, not with grand visions, but with silence, with sighs, with things too small for those who are always in a hurry to notice. And that's where many get lost. Not because God went silent, but because the noise inside them became louder than any divine whisper. Maybe that's your case. Maybe you've been asking for signs for days, months, years, and all that seems to come is emptiness. Nothing. But what if that nothing is actually one of the signs? Maybe you're hearing God without realizing it. Maybe He is speaking in His own way. And this video is about that. About the signs no one teaches you to see. About the quiet ways heaven still touches earth. About how God speaks. Softly, but He speaks. In the beginning, everything feels confusing. You pray, but it feels like you're talking to the ceiling. You cry, but it seems like no one hears. You ask for direction, and all you get is silence. And it hurts. It hurts like loving someone who doesn't respond. It hurts like missing a place you're not even sure still exists. You start to wonder if God still cares. Or worse, if He's even there. But then, without realizing it, something shifts. An old memory returns. A Bible verse you hadn't thought of in years reappears. Someone says exactly what you needed to hear, without knowing. Coincidence? Or maybe it was Him? The first sign that God is speaking is restlessness, that feeling that something's off, that you're far from who you used to be, that your soul is longing for something the world just can't give. It's not guilt, it's not punishment, it's a calling. When God wants to speak, He starts by stirring things up inside, shaking your certainties, disrupting your comfort, because heaven doesn't speak to a rushed mind. It speaks to a heart that begins to ache, with longing for God. Maybe that's what you're feeling. The second sign is silence. Yes, silence is an answer too. God doesn't always speak the way we want. He speaks the way we need. And sometimes silence is the only way to make us hear what truly matters. Maybe He's gone quiet, because you need to go quiet too. Maybe God's silence is an invitation for you to stop chasing noise and start seeking presence. The third sign is repetition. When something shows up multiple times in different ways, pay attention. A Bible verse that keeps showing up, a song that always plays at the perfect time, a phrase you keep hearing from different people, without explanation. It's not coincidence, it's care. It's as if God is saying, "Are you listening now?" And you realize that message was just for you. The fourth sign is memory. God speaks through memories. Sometimes, in the middle of chaos, an old scene comes to mind. A moment when you felt peace. A place where you used to pray with faith. A time when you truly believed. Those memories aren't just nostalgia. They're anchors. Signs from heaven saying, "Come back, I'm still here." The fifth sign is the tear. Not the one that falls from pain, but the one that falls when, just for a second, you feel something greater. Maybe during a simple prayer, a sunset, a quiet moment when your heart opens. It's as if for a second God touched something inside you, and your soul recognized it's Him. I remember this. Those tears are answers. They're the Spirit saying, "I never left." It's hard to notice these signs when life is loud, when you're full of tasks, distractions, demands, but God doesn't shout. He whispers. He waits for you to quiet down, so you can hear. And when you finally do, everything changes. Not because your problems disappear, but because you realize you were never alone. You start to see that God speaks in 1,000 ways, through pain, through silence, through detail, through the unexpected. And the question is no longer, why doesn't God speak to me? But rather, have I been listening? Maybe this video is one of those signs. Maybe this conversation is God saying, "I still speak. I'm still here. I still love you." Breathe, be still, and listen. Because even in silence, He's speaking, and those who have ears feel it. Sometimes heaven doesn't send thunder, it sends memories, tears, unnamed restlessness. Sometimes God doesn't say, "Go this way," but instead makes you remember who you were before you got lost. Yes, He speaks, but you have to stop, listen, and let your soul recognize the voice that's always called you by name.